With rising debt levels, fluctuating markets, inflation is at a 40-year high, and interest rates are rising. The stock market is taking investors on a roller coaster ride with terrifying drops. Even if you haven't looked lately, you know that the value of your retirement account is down, and now you're hearing that we may be in a recession or one is inevitable. A recession is something beyond our control, but what we can control is how we respond and prepare for a financial recession. Taking precautionary measures to protect your finances can make a world of difference. But what you shouldn't do is make moves based on recessionary fears that can put you in a worse position financially. You can't predict the future, but you can take steps to fortify your finances so you're prepared in the event of a downturn. So, let's find out how to protect your finances during a recession. Establish a budget and pay down your debts. Carrying a debt burden is exactly that, a burden. And during a recession when jobs are scarce and money is tight, those high debt payments will add only more stress to an already stressful situation. So it's time to take stock of your financial situation and all your payment obligations and make a plan to pay down your debts. During a recession, it can be difficult to cover day-by-day expenses, let alone debt repayments, and this can cause your debt to spiral out of control. Carrying high levels of debt is very risky, because a slight change in external factors could affect your ability to pay your debt. Although you may be able to manage payments now, a job loss or an interest rate hike combined with banks tightening credit limits could change that for the worse. The first step to successfully paying down your debts is establishing a budget that accurately reflects the money coming into your household and where that money is supposed to go. If you aren't tackling your debt as aggressively as you could, or worse, adding to your debt, having a budget will help you identify spending areas you can cut back on, so more of your money can go towards paying down your debt. Here are some detailed steps you can take to build a household budget, so you'll be able to live within your means and manage your money better. Downsize to a more frugal lifestyle. Downsizing and learning how to live frugally can be a great strategy, because if you can learn to make do with less, you'll increase your savings and you won't find yourself struggling to adapt to a new lifestyle when a recession hits. There are lots of ways you can start living frugally. If your family has 2 vehicles, consider reducing it to 1 and make use of public transit. This choice could alone save you $9,000 per year. Or if having 2 cars is necessary, consider selling one of the cars off for a more fuel-efficient, sub-compact vehicle to save on the cost of gas. You can also look into downsizing your home or apartment, spending less on groceries and scaling back on your cell phone plan. The key is to ensure the cuts you're making aren't too extreme, or it will be difficult to sustain in the future. Learning how to get by with less is the key to recession-proof living. Diversify your income. Most of us are familiar with the saying, "Don't put all your eggs in one basket," and this adage could be applied to your source of income. Relying solely on a particular job for all your income has inherent risks, because if the economy tanks and you lose your job, you'll also lose your only income and your ability to meet all your financial obligations. Having multiple streams of income can really help. If one income source starts to dwindle or gets eliminated completely, you have other sources to fall back on to help keep you afloat. Diversifying your income doesn't necessarily entail getting a second job. In fact, if your spouse is working in a different industry than you have some income diversity right there. However, if you'd like to stretch your wings and bring in some more income, you can look into many different options, such as renting out a room in your home, renting out a space in your garage, or going so far as to buy a revenue property and rent it out. If you have a fairly flexible schedule, you can consider getting a weekend job, and if you have particularly strong skill sets or are developing one, you can look at ways to cash in those skills. For example, if you're a strong writer, you can look into freelancing articles and blog posts. If you're crafty, you can sell your creations on Etsy, and if you're handy around the house, you can consider advertising your services on Craigslist. Don't let these examples limit you though. Any skill or talent you have could potentially be turned into a way to earn some extra income. Diversify your investments. In addition to diversifying your income, it's also important to diversify your investments. If you have most of your money tied up in the stock market, an economic downturn could be a financial disaster if all your money is tied up in one type of investment. And it's for this reason that diversifying your investment is key. When it comes to diversification, you can park your money in a number of different investment vehicles. Real estate, whether it's buying a home, a condo, or even land, is a common investment that generally appreciates with time. Investing in stocks, especially the stock market index, is a good way to help your portfolio grow, while bonds have often been a good way to bring in income. You can also consider international investments, as diversifying into other countries can also help you reduce your vulnerability to an economic downturn. Before jumping to the next advice, like this video, subscribe to the channel with the notification bell for appreciation of our team. Build a substantial emergency fund. Jobless Americans can often turn to unemployment insurance (UI) for help with income. How much each individual receives depends on the state, but generally about 30 to 50% of workers' wages are replaced with the assistance program, according to the National Bureau of Economic Research. That's unless Congress enhances the program as lawmakers did during the coronavirus pandemic. Assembling 6 months worth of expenses can seem like a daunting task, but don't underestimate the power of small contributions. Regularly adding to your savings account over time can build the crucial savings habit. Better yet, automate your contributions to put the process on autopilot. For more tips, take Bankrate's free financial education course on building your emergency fund. Next comes the important step of deciding where to park your cash. Savings accounts from online banks often offer yields that are 10 times the national average. Shop around for the best account that suits you and your lifestyle. Identify ways to cut back. If you're looking to free up cash that you can recycle back into your savings account, it's always a good idea to go through your monthly expenses and identify which items are discretionary services or items that you can live without, and which items are necessities. The discretionary items are most likely ones that you can either eliminate now or in the future. Experts typically recommend spending no more than 30% of your net income, that is earnings after tax, on discretionary items. It's a good idea to create a monthly budget to ensure that you're living within your means and not overspending. Doing so when the economy is strong could help you set up for success during bad economic times. Here is some bonus advice for you. A recession is something beyond our control, but what we can control is how we prepare for tough financial times. Taking precautionary measures now to safeguard your finances in the future can make a world of difference. When you know how to recession-proof yourself and your finances, a downturn in the economy is no longer anything to fear. Instead, you can live peacefully, knowing that while you can't control the world, your finances are under control and you're ready for whatever comes your way. If this information is really helpful for you, then give this video a thumbs up now and subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell. Stay tuned for another upcoming exciting video. See you next time.